ever felt like you didn't belong, or that if you liked something different than your friends, you'd be made fun of? Maybe you've even felt like you're meant to be something other than what you are on the outside. This is a constant struggle for people of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, or LGBT community. LGBTs probably receive the most pressure from religions and being told that who they are is wrong or a sin. But if God created us, made us a certain way, and chose our path, then how can who they are be wrong if God created them that way? It's not like how you can choose to be a vegetarian or pick your favorite color. It's just part of them. Also, it has nothing to do with the way they were raised. A straight person could have been raised the same way as an LGBT person and still ended up straight. Yet, people all over social media are still coming up with ridiculous reasons as to why being lesbian, gay, or bisexual is a bad thing. When people post pictures on social media that aren't considered gender appropriate, they're often bullied for it, whether a part of the LGBT community or not. This year, a girl wasn't allowed to go to prom because she wanted to wear a tux. Also, a little girl was sent home from school because she wore boys' clothes. Also, a boy was kicked out of school clubs because he wore dresses. We can put a stop to this by encouraging them to watch stuff like The Fosters or Good Luck Charlie or Degrassi, stuff that put a positive outlook on the LGBT community and denouncing the people that post derogatory comments on videos or pictures on social media. And my advice for the people of the LGBT community is to listen to Bill Copeland. Try to be like the turtle, at ease in your own shell.
Good afternoon. There are many current important issues in our society today, and this stretches from immigration reform to the Affordable Care Act to just our country's economy. Now let's go back 30 years to 1984. At that time, there were no cell phones. There was no Apple, Android, Microsoft. There was no plasma screen TVs. There were no home computers. And, kids were still likely to get up early Saturday mornings just to, watch cartoons on one television that everyone in the house shared. It was a very different time period. Because nowadays, it's very different. Because we have cell phones, and you don't see a lot of homes with home phones anymore, including my own house. Because now the parents and the children, they have their own cell phones, and they can all communicate. A lot of teenagers, including myself, have their own cell phones with their own cell phone numbers. Now, then there's cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is used with cell phones and tablets and social networking sites, and it's used to, hurt each other. And, no longer are we, teasing each other on the playground or on the basketball court. See, we're now doing it through the silence of this new technology. And that's also why some people have all these, social networking accounts, so that their parents don't know what they're actually, doing. And social networking can be used for good purposes, such as, communication and research. However, some individuals abuse the privilege of having the social network for what my parents would call foolishness. Today is very different from 30 years ago, and I think that we should all use our technology wisely, because that is going to be the key to my success, and I think that we should think that it's going to be the key to all of our successes if we all use it wisely as a community. Thank you.
I believe that social media concerns me, as well as other people my age, very much. Social media is a part of every teenager's life, and it won't stop once we turn 20. Social media will follow us throughout the rest of our teenage lives, our young adulthood, and our adulthood. Most teenagers these days always have a smartphone in their hands and are constantly on social networking sites. And although they can be fun and are an amazing way to communicate with people near and far, most teens fail to recognize that they must be careful what they do and say on these sites. As a teenager, social media impacts me because I have the possibility of making a change. I have to make sure that what I say and do online is helping me to be a positive influence. But if your parents saw what you tweet on Twitter or what pictures you post on Instagram, would they approve of them? Would you ever confidently hand them your phone and allow them to search through your account on one of these social media sites? Some of you may say yes, but maybe there are some things that you know aren't really appropriate to have up. Or maybe you're harassing someone online, saying mean words and commenting cruel messages. This might seem like a task that you cannot get in trouble for because it's not happening on school grounds. But just because you say something about someone online does not mean it's not considered bullying. In fact, in the state of Connecticut, an act concerning the strengthening of school bullying laws states that school policies must include provisions addressing bullying outside of the school setting. There are ways that you can be positive online. Instead of commenting cruel messages and harassing people, we can raise awareness about bullying and about how the internet is better off without cyberbullying. If cyberbullying is frowned upon by more adolescents, we can find a more meaningful use for the internet. Finally, you're a young adult, and your priorities have changed. When you're a young adult, you might have fully fledged and realized that some of the things that you thought mattered when you were 18 really don't matter at all. If you chose to act inappropriately as a teenager, this could make a bad start to the beginning of your career, as well as a message that you send to other teenagers. But if you do help other teens who deal with the same problems that you have dealt with, you could even provide empathy skills. And empathy skills can be really applied everywhere, whether you're starting out with a job or just with your family and friends. Regardless of how I believe that teens today should be careful about what they say online, there are some people who believe that you should be able to express your feelings regardless of the impact that it has on the younger generations. But studies show that bullying victims are 2 to 9 times more likely to consider committing suicide because of cyberbullying, and about 75% of students admit to visiting a website attacking another student. Doesn't that matter? Is that the message that we want to send to our younger generations? In conclusion, social media impacts me, as well as other teens my age, to a great extent. You might be wondering why this is such a worrisome topic. Think to yourself if technology is really only just a part of our lives. Technology is only becoming stronger, and social networks are only becoming more common to have. If we work together, we can make more meaningful use for the internet and be aware of what we do online.
There are many terrible things going on in the world right now. Many. From hostile takeovers to sharply worded comments on social media. But the thing that really hits home for me is ignorance. Ignorance is a disease that is infecting the minds of our young people. It is a pandemic that is destroying any form of sanity that our young people have. To better understand this, let's take it back. It all starts off as a child. When you're at a young age, you're very impressionable. So when children grow up hearing ignorance, they can become very ignorant. They do believe what they hear is the truth. And that's how it begins. Ignorance is a trap, and once it catches hold of you, it is very hard to get out of it. Ignorance starts off small, but soon it grows and grows and turns you into an instrument of self-denial, of self-hatred and denial. And soon it can cause you to make rash decisions that can affect yourself and others. Now, to conclude, ignorance is ripping this nation apart. And if we don't stop it right now, it is going to infect all of us. Instead of popping tags, we can pop a book. Instead of going down to the club, we can go down to a library. We need to try new things and do new things. And in this way, we will destroy our own ignorance. And then, we can become agents of change. take ignorance by the throat, throw it to the ground, destroy it, and make a better tomorrow.
Our third prize goes to contestant number 6. Our second prize goes to contestant number 5. No, number 5, we need you over here. And our top prize, and first let me say the recognition awardees are getting a check for $50. Our third prize winner is getting a check for $100. Our second prize winner is getting a check for $125. And first prize goes to contestant number 2. Will you join me up here, please? And she will be getting a check for $150.